Hi, in this video I would like to expose a biased anti-Israel news report by the British Broadcasting Corporation, also known as the BBC. According to a recent BBC report, a farmer on the Israeli side of the Jordan River came back home one day to be surprised by his home being demolished. It was just so happened, by some sheer coincidence, that the BBC journalist Yolanda Knell was there to report the surprise event. But the real surprise was not the demolition of a house of an illegal squatter in Israel. The surprise was a type of biased, unprofessional reporting that the BBC permitted, which was a blatant abuse of free speech that aimed to incite hatred and anger towards Israel. My heart goes to the illegal squatter who happened to be Muslim, but at the same time I must expose the impressionable journalist pointing her finger at Israel and interviewing bystanders with unofficial opinions to substantiate her report. I would expect this type of biased reporting on some teenage social media platform where personal impressions are presented as facts and face value seeing is believing without a shred of due diligence. I wouldn't expect this type of reporting from a major news network such as the BBC, unless the BBC is now a partner in the jihad war against Israel. Ms. Knell reported, in mention only, that the house on this property was built without a permit, and as often is the case, most likely also without paying rent or property taxes for many years. The reporter didn't bother to address those issues when interviewing the evicted squatter. Most likely, there was an open court case that dragged on for years on behalf of the squatter. In case you don't know, Israeli courts are often lenient with illegal squatters until it becomes obvious that progress towards legality is not made. It is also not unusual for squatters to prolong the court proceedings years on end with empty agreements to comply. Israel doesn't have two standards for two different ethnicities, and this house was not demolished because it was Palestinian, as the BBC reported stated. There were many occasions where Jewish illegal squatters were evicted and the houses were demolished. Being blatantly biased, it can't be a coincidence that Ms. Knell used phrases such as a Palestinian home being demolished in the occupied West Bank against international law, none of which were relevant to the situation or true in themselves. It is indeed a cruel reality that many people live in poverty in any country in the world. But the crucial question here is if Israel is to blame for this squatter situation, as the BBC wanted to believe. More likely, the BBC reporter is urging you to act against Israel by predicting a false mass eviction based on this planned coincidence reporting. In spite of her BBC title, Middle East Correspondent, it is questionable whether Ms. Knell was ever in Syria, Lebanon, Afghanistan, or Yemen, where devastating internal wars and conflicts are a commonplace, or at least in the east side of the Jordan River, where people are tortured and executed for voicing their grievances. The BBC also forgot to send a Middle East correspondent to Gaza when Egypt demolished the homes of tens of thousands of people in order to create a buffer zone between the two countries. Should Ms. Knell reporting be honest reporting, her reporting would have been like this. 1. In seconds, an illegal squatter's home is gone after years of negotiations failed. 2. Suhair, who is days from giving birth, will receive free hospital care in Israel. 3. This cave was created by Naaman's grandfather, who was also an illegal squatter. 4. Several squatters face eviction from this area after years of negotiations failed. 5. Nearby illegal settlements are growing. 6. Anti-Israel demonstrators scuffle with Israeli soldiers. 7. People who don't get Israeli permits can't build in Israel without them, regardless of ethnicity. 8. This part of Israel, West Bank, is logically under full Israeli control. It is apparent that Ms. Knell, BBC sensational reporting without the sensation are neither Middle East report nor even a pro-ethnic equality report, but clearly an anti-Israel report. If you didn't know, now you know. Bye.